Saints 22. Can the Virgin Mary work miracles? I'm referring to a miracle in the strongest sense. This may be something like resuscitating a dead person or to heal a sick person instantly, something which is usually reserved for the almighty power of God. Protestants on this point accuse us Catholics and the Orthodox of turning Mary into a divinity. This is what must first of all be corrected instantly and very precisely. The Virgin Mary is only a human person, a humble human person, the smallest of all, and yet in the recognized apparitions of the Virgin Mary, we see her portraying this. For example, at Fatima, she asked to heal the sick. She replies to Lucy, "I will cure some of them, but others I won't because I don't trust them." And suddenly, looking at these texts, some Protestants said, "Look, they are making Mary into a pagan idol, the Queen of Heaven, and this entity that appears cannot come from God, since she claims to be able to work miracles." The reasoning seems flawless. The problem is that when we consider certain miracles of Lourdes, the 60 or so which have been recognized, and one realizes that they are not simple prodigies. I am referring to Jeanne Fretel, whose case is visible on the internet. You only have to type her name, and we have a video where she herself testifies, where obviously her intestine grew back like lightning. We have x-rays before, x-rays after. We have her testimonies. She died around 85, whereas this miracle had been taking place in the 50s when she was about 20 years old. So this is very simply the Catholic explanation, the explanation given by all the churches founded upon the apostles. The Virgin Mary in herself can do nothing. She is a little human person. It turns out that she submitted her prayer to God. She loved Him in total humility more than any other person. She only does His will. She had no merit. She arrived, I would say, at the hour of her death, and Jesus Christ put forward her values that she had not even realized that she possessed. God therefore exalted her by immediately resuscitating her soul with her body, and He established her as queen of His heart. This is not a royalty like anything on the earth. This is a royalty which resembles rather a marriage of mystical love, obviously with the Father, so much so that, like a Catholic wife, she is not in a situation of submission. He exalts her, God Himself, and He makes her the mother who gives life to man. So she is incapable of giving spiritual life, since no grace can emanate from her. It means that in fact He delegates to her all His powers. She can at will to draw from the graces of God and send them to the earth to His children. She don't even have to ask. She is in total confidence. It means that God really gives her everything. She is not in the situation of a wife who would ask her husband for a check from time to time. She has the checkbook account, so to speak. Then we can say, but that's not scriptural. Of course it is. This is indeed scriptural. First of all, when Jesus says in St. John, "Whatever you ask in my name to my Father, He will do it," here we can say that theologically it's set up how Mary functions. She only asks humbly. She is total submissive. She knows that everything comes from God. Then Jesus always confirms in the Gospel according to St. John, "He who loves me will do greater works than the works that I have done to amaze you." Greater. Obviously, in strict theology, these words come from God alone. But in fact, she is a real free person. She acts as a collaborator with God. She is truly with Jesus. She is His loving friend, and so she can say in all truth, "I will cure some of them," not that she heals materially, technically herself, but because her decision is word God's decision. This is where the Catholic faith positions itself upon this point. The Muslims answer with great firmness that we are associators. We associate with God creatures who are not God. I will answer that as follows. It is God who associates creatures with his power, and he does it from the beginning of creation, since God the Father, who is the only Father, when he creates man and woman, the first thing he does is to make them fathers and mothers. He associates them with this mystery by making them procreators. This is typical of God, but it is indeed something that the Protestants' faith refuses to accept, nor believe that the Muslim faith also refuses to accept